guys, today I'm filming my second update for my makeup use up of 2019. If you guys did not see my intro or my first update, I'll have my playlist linked up in the cards. So basically, if you're unfamiliar with this project pan, basically at the beginning of the year, I chose a specific group of products that I wanted to finish or hit pan on by the end of the year. And my other goal is to finish up an additional 50 makeup products. So I am going to jump right in with the makeup use up items, starting with the things that I was able to complete over these past 2 months. And the first thing here is the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 110 Porcelain. So here is where I was at the beginning of the year, and it is now completely used up. There is still some foundation in the bottle along the sides. So usually with foundations, I will take off the top, scrape out all of the product. With this foundation, I tried so hard, I could not remove the top. I about stabbed myself in the hand trying to pry it off of here. So if you know how to remove it, let me know and I will definitely scoop out all of the product. But this was a really nice foundation. It truly does give that medium buildable to full coverage. It is a little thicker, but it doesn't feel super heavy on the skin. I do think that this is a perfect shade match for me. It is very fair and it is yellow tone, not super yellow, more yellow neutral, but it does work really well for me. This is a very long wearing foundation, but it's not the most mattifying. This is definitely one of the best drugstore foundations that I've tried, and I might purchase it again in the future, but it's not holy grail to me, and I have other foundations I need to use up, so I'm not really in a big rush to repurchase this, but it is a good one and I would recommend it. I think this could really work well for all skin types if you're wanting more of a full coverage, long wear makeup. I do think that that is a good product. Next, I have finished up the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 4. I took out the stopper and everything. This is a really nice concealer. It does give medium buildable coverage, has more of a natural satin finish. This is a great concealer for under eyes or blemishes, but my favorite way to use this concealer is to build up coverage on my cheeks. Now, Fair 4 is the shade I was using under my eyes. It does work nicely for that. This is a concealer that I noticed you do really like once you open it, you need to be continually using it because especially once you pull out the stopper, it does start to dry out. So this is something that I'm only going to repurchase in the shade Light 10. That is the one that I use on my cheeks that works perfectly for me. So I do enjoy this product, but I have other concealers I prefer for under the eyes, so I will not repurchase it for now at least, but it is something I would recommend. It's a good product. The next thing I have is the NYX hashtag No Filter Powder in the shade number 2 Porcelain. So I had thought this was discontinued, but several of you guys left me some comments letting me know that you could find, I believe, this shade and one other on the Target website. They're also available on the NYX website and a couple other places in select shades. And these are very, very pricey, but this is a powder I absolutely love. It does give some nice coverage and it looks very airbrush on the skin. My face doesn't look too heavy or too cakey, and it took me a really long time to get through this powder, so this is something I would contemplate repurchasing. I do like this as more of like a finishing powder. I do like to set my face with a pressed powder. I do like to set my face with a translucent loose powder and then go over top with a dusting of this, and I think that works really well. This is too dark for me to use on its own, but when I use it that way, it works really well for me. So this is something that I would repurchase. I'm not in a huge rush to right now because I do have a lot of powders, and again, this is very pricey, but if it went on sale, I would purchase that. The last makeup use up item I finished was the Too Faced Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Oil Lip Gloss in the shade Pure Peach. I was very surprised at how quickly I used this up. You really don't get much in here at all. You get 4 mils or 0.14 fluid ounces. I think you get twice the amount of product in here in a NYX Butter Gloss, which is crazy. I was very surprised by that because the tube is very deceiving. I think it's because this sticker is covering up actually how much you get. I'm sure that there's a ton of clear packaging around this. I do like this formula because it is super creamy and comfortable. I do like this shade. It's a really pretty pinky peach color, but because it is a lighter, milkier color and formula, I did get that white inner rim on the inside of my lips, and because it is such a oily, creamy formula, it it fades very quickly. So that's why I went through this so quickly, because I constantly had to reapply it. It's a nice gloss, but it's not my favorite. I'm very happy I put it into a project to get my money's worth, but I wouldn't recommend these because they're not a good value. If you find them at TJ Maxx, sure. I've been seeing a couple shades because they did discontinue a few colors, but for me, this is not something I would repurchase, but super happy to have that finished up. So now I'll show you the progress on the rest of my makeup use-up items. So the first thing we have here is my perfume. This is the Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy Original Perfume. So here is where I was at the beginning of the year, and we are all the way down here. So I made some pretty good progress with this, and I am hoping that I can finish this by the end of the summer. I'm not too worried about it. This is going to be my main focus. For the spring, I've been using this, and then I've also been using up some perfume samples, but for summer, I really am going to focus on this one. It is a perfume I absolutely love, and I've told you before, the reason I have it in this project is because I do have a large 3.4 ounce bottle, so I wanted to finish up the small size. This is the 1 ounce. Love this fragrance. It's amazing for spring, summer, so I'm not worried about finishing that up whatsoever, and I'm really enjoying using it. My next item is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. I was up here at the beginning of the year, and now I'm down to here, so this is something that I should definitely have finished off by my next update, and I feel very good about that. I've had this for a little while in my collection, and it will just feel good to get a primer used up, so next update should be gone. Then we've got my foundation, which is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation in the shade Snow. I have about half of this left, and I haven't used this at all yet, but this is going to go in my summer project pan, which will be starting very soon at the beginning of June, and a couple more of these products will be showing up in that project, so hopefully I will be able to get them used up. So I'll give you more thoughts next time. I'm a little nervous about the primers I have in mind to use with this. I don't know if it will be too mattifying for my skin, but of course it's really hot right now. It's only going to get hotter, so we'll see. But I'm looking forward to using that up. And then we've got some bronzers. The first one I have is the Milani Matte Baked Bronzer in Sunset. Love this product. Haven't used it yet at all this year. This is going to be my summer bronzer. My goal is to hit pan. I do have a good dip in this. It was a domed product, so the dome was completely worn down, and there is a dip, but I am a little nervous about hitting pan, but I'm going to enjoy using this, and I do actually have a backup. Then for my contour, I'm probably going to use this in the fall time, so we won't have progress for a little while, but I might use it summer and fall because it might take me a while to hit pan on this. This is a Sleek Contour Kit in Light. I want to hit pan on the contour shade. This is super duper old, and I want to hit pan on it this year, and then I'll toss it at the end of the year, but I want to make some good progress. Next, we've got some eyeshadows that I will be panning this summer, and I'm very excited to see how this goes. So the first one I have is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Kathleen Lights. My goal is going to be to hit pan on this one, which I'm not worried about, and we'll see if I decide that I want to finish it completely or not. I'm thinking I want to get more use out of eyeshadows in my collection, but maybe once I will have hit pan, I'll just want to push through. So we'll see how long it takes me to get to that step, but I do think it's a beautiful color, and the shadows I'm going to wear with it are from the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I'm going to be using Champs as my transition color, Note to Self as my crease color, and GNO as my outer corner color. My goal is just to hit pan on these. These are mini eyeshadows, so I think it shouldn't be too difficult, but hitting pan can be challenging. ColourPop shadows are a little bit powdery, but not near as powdery as Anastasia, so they might still be a bit of a struggle, but we'll see how far I get with those. And then I've got two lippies that will be in my fall project pan. I'm going to use these together. So this is a mini of the Tarte Color Splash lipstick in Rum Punch. So I have not used that one yet this year. And then I have the e.l.f. Tinted Lip Oil in Nude Kiss. I'm hoping that this one has very deceptive packaging as well. I think it does. e.l.f. is pretty known for that. So I'm hoping that I can get both of those used up. So that was my progress on all of the makeup use-up items. Now moving on to the other products I was able to finish up in the month of March and April. I know this update is really late, so I apologize for that. There have been things I've finished since my last update, but they were in the month of May, so I've set them aside to show you guys my next update. I have 24 products here, I believe, which is insane for 2 months, and this I think I counted correctly. So this is already like half of my goal for the end of the year. So that's amazing. So just jumping right in with some complexion products. I have a few primers that were all featured in my spring project pan. If you guys didn't check that out, I will have the playlist linked up in the cards. The first was the Murad Age Reform Invisiblur Perfecting Shield Broad Spectrum SPF 30. This was just your basic silicone primer. It didn't do anything for my skin. I did like that it had SPF, but I know this is super expensive. Because it did nothing for me, would not repurchase it. Then I used up the Cover FX Mattifying Primer. This is a matte primer that doesn't keep me the most matte, but it also isn't that thick, gluey consistency that's difficult to work with and makes my makeup look terrible. I did actually purchase this in the full size for a really good price around Christmas time from Sephora, so I will start using that one soon. This is something that I do enjoy and I would recommend. Then I have a little mini of the Benefit Porefessional, which I used as a pore flame primer. It's not my most favorite. I do prefer the Smashbox Photo Finish, the Makeup Forever, Dr. Brandt Pores No More, Cover FX Blurring Primer. All of those work very well for me, but this one did work really well during this time of year. It's not my most favorite and I wouldn't repurchase it, but I will continue to use up any minis that I have. Then we have a whole bunch of loose powders. You guys are not going to be surprised, most likely. So I have 4 Dermablend Translucent Loose Setting Powders. This first one is the full size. This has 1 ounce, and I didn't have very much of this left at the beginning of the year, so I used up this one. I used up the travel size, which has 5 grams or 0.18 ounces. The big one has 28 grams. Then we have these little baby sizes, which have 3 grams or 0.11 ounces. So when you used to get free gifts from Ulta, they used to give you this size, and now they're giving you this size, which is a huge bummer. It's almost half the amount of product you get in here, but this is one of my favorite translucent loose powders. I have been using this to set my under eyes and to set my face. It does a great job. My skin looks very smooth. Now this isn't like a mattifying loose powder, but it makes my skin look really good. I don't get super duper oily with it. It does give me a bit of a white cast to my skin, but I don't mind that. And I just absolutely love this powder. This one and Laura Mercier are my absolute favorite. I did repurchase this during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. They tend to have this at least once a year, if not during both sales. So I can see myself repurchasing this for the foreseeable future because it's just one of my favorites, and I will be comparing it to some other translucent loose powders I have here that I don't like near as well. And Beauty Deals BFF has done like a breakdown of price per gram for loose powders, and this has one of the best values. So definitely recommend this if you're looking for a real translucent loose powder. It does also come in a couple other shades in case you're of a deeper complexion. The other loose powders that I have to compare it to would be one of the original most popular, which would be the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Loose Powder. And I thought I had tried this once before, but I think it was a really long time ago and I didn't remember. But I got it in a Sephora play, so I was able to try it out again. Y'all, this is terrible. First off, it made my makeup oxidize. I had to apply so much to make my skin feel set. It caked up my sponge. This was terrible. Like, I could not stand this. I was so happy to have it used up, and really using this made me appreciate the Dermablend so much more because I wasn't sure if this was for me because of the white cast, and I thought maybe it's just like a basic translucent loose powder for me at least. And y'all know it's because I'm really powder crazy. I'm very particular about powders. This one is just incredible, and I will never use the Makeup Forever again. Then I used up 2 little baby sizes of the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in Translucent Light. I've used these up in the past to set my under eyes, and previously I didn't like it because it made my under eyes feel very tight, not necessarily dry, but just tight around the skin, which I didn't love. And then this time I used it to set my under eyes and my face. It did work nicely. But again, this powder goes on sale at the 21 Days of Beauty all the time, but you get a better value with this, and I like this one more. So I like these more than I did in the past, and I would use them up again, but I would not buy this. I'm still gonna pick the Dermablend. Then I've got one more powder I used up. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the transparent shade. This is my holy grail touch-up powder. I've mentioned it before. Other powders can make my skin look a little too dry, or maybe emphasize areas where my makeup has separated, or maybe it might mattify me, but then 20 minutes later I'm super greasy again. this does a very nice job of soaking up the oil, not making my makeup look funny, and it keeps me matte for a good period of time. So I will continue to repurchase this forever and ever. And lastly, I have two more face products. They're both deluxe size facial sprays. The first one is the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, chamomile, and lavender. This was 1 fluid ounce. This didn't do anything for me, but I didn't expect it to. I basically just gotten this as a freebie and decided to use it as a setting spray, even though it's not marketed that way. This is a nice product to take away any powdery look. It has a nice scent, but this doesn't do anything for me. I wouldn't use this as a skincare step, and I definitely wouldn't use it as a makeup setting spray. So maybe if I had more dry skin and I wanted to refresh my skin a lot more, this would be good for that, but it's not something I would repurchase. Then I have the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. This is a 0.50, so half fluid ounce bottle. It's fine. I like the way that it mists. I think it feels nice on my skin. It doesn't do anything bad for me, but I don't know if I notice it actually prolonging the wear of my makeup. I do have several more of these that I will use up. I don't think it's something that I would repurchase in the future, but who knows? You guys know in general I'm not super impressed with setting sprays. Then I've got several brow products that I used up. The first would be a couple of Benefit eyebrow pencils. This is the Precisely My Brow pencil in the shade number 2. This is basically Benefit's version of the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is amazing. I absolutely love this for drawing out the shape of my brows, and I will use it in combination with a thicker angled brow pencil like the Benefit Goof Proof. This one is in the shade number 1. So as you can see, it is this like diamond shape, this thicker angled brow pencil, and I'll use this to fill in the center of my brows. I used to go through micro brows like every month or 2 months. Now they last me so much longer because I use them in combination with a thicker brow pencil. And even though this is more expensive, this is a phenomenal pencil. Now, I love this. I think the shade range of the Benefit brow products are incredible. I think all the Benefit brow products I've tried are amazing. I like them more than my Anastasia products, believe it or not. I will definitely repurchase the Goof Proof because I've tried some other dupes and I do like this one the best. The Benefit Precisely My Brow, I don't know if I would because I love my NYX Micro Brow so much. It's already cheaper and I can always get it for a really, really good deal, and I'll stock up on them. I have like 5 backups right now. So I don't know that I would repurchase this one. I bought this one in a kit that was on clearance. I got the whole kit for like $4 or something. So this was an amazing, amazing price. I couldn't pass it up, but it is a great product. I would highly recommend. These are just so good. They're not too creamy, not too waxy. Absolutely, this one's like a holy grail for me. I do love this one as well. It's amazing. Like I said, if I didn't have that drugstore dupe, I would buy this one. I do like this more than the Brow Wiz, that's for sure. Then I have another Benefit brow product. This is the 24-hour brow setter. This is just a little mini. This is their clear brow gel, and it has a plastic bristle brush, which is very different. It has nice little teeth that do help really get through your brows, but it kind of spaced them out a little bit. This is a little too jelly for me, and it took a while to dry down. At first I thought this was just like the Anastasia, but it had a different brush. I think the formula is different too. I have another mini of this that I will use up, but if I have to purchase one, I'll purchase the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. That is really like hairspray for your brows. It dries very quickly. It doesn't look any kind of gooey or goopy. It works through my brows really nicely. This one I have to be careful of that it doesn't wipe off too much of the pencil I have drawn onto my skin. So not my most favorite, and I would pick the Anastasia over this one. My last brow product I used up was the Lorac Take a Brow Kit in the shade Blonde. This has been discontinued. I've seen several shades, not the blonde recently, but several shades pop up at TJ Maxx. So in here you do get a little angled brush, which I've thrown away, 2 different eyeshadow eyebrow colors, and then you do have a wax. The wax is very, very sticky. I don't use it, and I don't use the darker brow color. I only use the lighter shade. It's an amazing warm tone blonde that isn't too red. This is a very, very pigmented powder, which I absolutely love. Recently though, I haven't been using powder. I've just been using pencil, and I've been wearing my glasses to work every day, and sometimes it will make the inner part of my brow wear off, and I wasn't putting powder there because I wanted it to look a little bit more natural, but because I'm drawing right on skin, it's wearing away. So I think I'll go back to using powder, but I do have 3 backups of this. It is my holy grail. the best shade for me, an amazing formula, so I do recommend this. If you find it at TJ Maxx, I would pick it up for sure. Then I've got some eye products. The first is the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I'd always heard this was the holy grail eye primer for people with oily lids, so I got this in a Sephora play bag. Well, I purchased a Sephora play bag on the website because it had this in it. I took out the stopper and everything. This was basic for me. I actually like the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer a little bit better. I think this one blended out into my skin a little bit easier. I mean, not this one, the Urban Decay one does, because I always do my face makeup and then my eye makeup, and I felt like this one, it's like a little thicker and it dried down a little bit more, so I feel like it, when it came in contact with my face makeup, it looked a little patchy, so it's not something I repurchased. I think the Urban Decay Original Eyeshadow Primer or the Milani Eyeshadow Primer worked just as well for me, so I won't repurchase it, but I'm happy I was able to give it a shot. Then I do have one eyeshadow I used up, and that would be the shade Strange from the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. This was a very light cream with a pinky undertone. I was using this to set my primer. It worked really well for that. I did really enjoy the shade and the formula. I would not repurchase an $18 matte cream. I will continue to use Wet n Wild Brulee if I'm going to repurchase one. That one is my favorite, but I did enjoy the shadow, and I'm happy to have another matte cream used up out of my collection. So then I do have a liner. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper. This is an amazing felt tip liner. I'd never have trouble with this fraying on me. It's really nice and thin. It's very easy to line my upper lash line and draw a wing with this. The only difficulty I have is that this tends to dry out pretty quickly. I don't know if it's because it's a mini or not, but I have a few more of these that I will definitely and happily use up. But I'm gonna purchase the Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Liner instead, and I'm gonna buy that on sale, so it will be an even better value. But those are like the exact same product. Physicians Formula works just as well, but you have to buy the Ultra Black shade. Regular black looks great, so you need Ultra Black, but it's amazing. I will purchase that instead of this one, even though I think this is really good. Then I have two mascara type products. The first is the Lancome Sills Booster Eyelash Primer, and this is a nice lash primer. I don't know if I think lash primers do the most for me. I do think it helps give a little bit of volume and length, but I don't know how necessary it is. I'm going to continue using this up. I really get excited when I get them, but I don't think I would actually purchase one, but we'll see. Maybe once I stop using lash primers, I'll miss them. I'll let you know. And then speaking of Lancome, I did use up the Hypnose Drama Mascara, which is probably my favorite high-end mascara of all time. I love this kind of brush. It gives a lot of volume, a lot of fullness. They look fluttery, makes them long as well. This is more of a wet formula, which I really enjoy, and I love natural bristle brushes. This is a very expensive mascara, but I did purchase this for half off with a 20% off coupon during the holiday time from Ulta, so I have a full-size backup I'll be excited to use. Then I've got two lip products. The first is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This was just a little 100-point perk size, and this took me forever to use up. You only need a small amount of this. At first I didn't get the hype about this, but the more I used it, the more I truly fell in love with it. I don't like lip products that smell like anything, or lip balms especially, that smell anything other than mint. So at first I didn't like the berry scent, but now I've gotten used to it, and I do think it's really nice. This is amazing. It makes my lips feel so soft and smooth. I do have two more this size that I got in some Sephora Play K-Beauty bags. And once I use this up, I will purchase this in the full size. I know it's a little bit pricey, but it will last you forever. And I love this. It's very smooth. It's not sticky whatsoever. It lasts on the lips for quite a long time though. And compared to the Agave lip mask, that one just feels too much like Vaseline for me, and I don't get the price tag of that one, but this one's really good, so definitely recommend that. I also used up this little deluxe sample size of the Beauty by Pop Sugar Lip Gloss in the Be the Boss Lip Gloss in the shade Time After Time. It was just like a light rosy nudie pink color, and I did enjoy this formula. It was very creamy. It had a light medium opacity to it. It was a little sticky when it wore off, but not too bad. I enjoyed this formula, but not enough that I would actually purchase it in the full size, but I did enjoy using it up. So guys, that was my second update for my makeup use up of 2019. I feel like I'm doing really well so far this year, and I'm excited to see how many more things I will get used up. I would love to know what makeup products you guys have used up recently, and I would love to know your thoughts on these makeup products in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.